I ain't thinking about you. I ain't thinking about, ain't even worry about you. Ooh, oh, tell me what you gonna do when the night is and it's just me and you. Ooh, oh, it's always on your
Alrighty,
call,
Queen.
on your
How are ya?
Queen, how are you?
I am well. What is playing in the living room?
This week I am jamming to Tory Blake. That is Ain't Thinking. Tory can be found on all the platforms at TORRE. That's Tory Blake, BLAKE.
Nice.
And she has an R&B genre. She's been making music for about 5 to 6 years. A fellow ECU pirate, so I just wanted to take some time to show her some love.
Okay, bio.
Okay, with the information.
How are you? I realized I didn't ask in hesitancy to see what was playing in the living room. I mean, not hesitancy, in haste.
Okay. I will tell you how I am, Queen. I will tell you.
Okay.
Hips tick tock when I dance. On that demon time, she might start her OnlyFans. Hey, Big B, and that B stands for bands. If you want to see some real ass, baby, here's your chance. Hey. So you already know how I am.
There is simply only one meme to describe how I felt. And that would be New York Tiffany Pollard sitting on her bed with her legs straight out.
Are you done? Are you done? I say left cheek, right cheek, drop it low when it swang. Texas up in this thing, put you up on this game. I be parking my frame, gang, 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 gang. If you don't jump to put jeans on, then you can't stand my pain. Something like that.
I have
Sorry,
simply
Mom.
turned into.
I would just like to say that I'm having a wonderful week because my mom, Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter, has given me permission to start my OnlyFans page. So all this time we've been looking for the signs. We've made episodes called OnlyFans. And now my mom says, hey, Aisha, do it today. Do it today.
So you needed Beyonce's approval for that?
Yeah.
You needed
absolutely. I'm
Beyonce's
gonna make
approval for
OnlyFans.
your own bag?
Yes. Absolutely. She's like,
God.
Mom, I don't want her to be embarrassed. But since she says she's not going to be, I'm good. No.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'm glad that you have the permission of Beyonce to do grown women things as a grown woman.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm happy for all of the B stands and whatever Meg the Stallion stands are called. I'm assuming they're called stallions or boats, maybe?
They're probably called ponies.
They're probably called boats.
Everybody else ain't built like that.
They're called boats. You get it? For drive the boat?
The
'Cause
stallion
didn't
and
she
boats?
invent driving the boat?
Okay, I'm leaving.
No,
now. Goodbye.
I don't know nothing about that girl. I only know I only know about one female rap artist. I only know about one I only know about one rapper.
Okay, you know what? And in that case, let us move on, shall we?
I only know
What
about.
do you have for month in review? What do you have for month in review?
About
nope, we're not
the
doing
one
this.
and
We're
only
not doing
queen.
This. Nope, we're not doing
Whose
this.
lines go as such. No, I'm just kidding.
I was about to say.
If I'm gonna listen to you do Beyonce lines, you should listen to me do Nicki Minaj lines, because how you feel about Beyonce is how I feel about Nicki Minaj, and you know this.
Okay, excuse me. You do not get to compare my feelings for the Beyonce, the B. You don't get to compare how I feel about her to you feeling about Beyonce. Beyonce is my mama. I mean, you feeling about Nicki. Like, Beyonce my mama. Nicki's just some, that butt that you
Whoa.
And I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, first of all, Nicki Minaj has never been a thought. Watch your mouth. Watch your language. There has never been any proof that she was a thought. As she said, she was riding the same dick for 10 years. Why? Because she was in a committed monogamous relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Committed. Making out with Nas. Committed. Eesh, let's be careful with our words.
I'm going to smack fire. If you ever speak blasphemy about my favorite person ever again, I don't say bad things about Beyonce. Oh, well, actually,
all right. I don't need the Barbies to come after me. So let's just move on.
It's called the Barbs.
If they come in my DMs, they're gonna get their feelings hurt because they're all 14 and a half, and then there's Sydney.
What did you say?
That's what you get. Should have been paying attention.
Sorry, I was texting my mom, my actual mother, if you don't mind.
Okay, and I will text Beyonce my actual method.
Okay. And at the end of the day, we spent 4 minutes of this podcast going back and forth, and you being blasphemous towards the great Nicki Minaj, the one and only, the one that be eating these rap bitches with a nasty flow.
We get it. You're all her sons. Pussy wet. Lamborghini. Got it.
I mean,
Anyways.
I'm not even gonna go there. You know what?
Yep. You don't wanna, because this podcast could get mighty long.
Well, I mean, Beyonce and them bangs.
you don't wanna. No. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You know that it's off
It
limits.
is the only argument I need.
Because that's when Jay started cheating. She was going through things. Why would you do that?
Woo.
Sydney.
Oh my God, that was so
Sydney.
worth it.
Sydney.
To hear you explode.
Sydney. No, because now my body's hot.
I am sorry I had to go there, but you forced my hand.
This is so disrespectful. You wait till I see you, and I mean that.
Okay, well, we'll both be squaring up on site as we have both disrespected each other's queens. That's all I got to say about that. Just know, anytime you say something about Nicki Minaj, I'm going to come for Beyonce's bangs, not her jugular.
It was a different
simply her
It
bangs.
was a different time in her life. Don't do that. Don't do that. You see, she was all the way in Paris. She didn't bring them things over to the United States. Don't play with her.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna ease up. And smoothly slide into month in review.
Oh my God.
We are apologetic to our roomies for having to listen to us argue for 6 minutes about Beyonce and Nicki Minaj. But now that we are here, welcome you, welcome me. We're gonna start fresh. We're going to our crystals are charged. We're going to place them upon our bodies and exhale and meditate and get all the negative energy out of our podcast.
I don't have any crystals in my room right now.
Okay, well,
They're outside.
Okay. Okay. So I wanted to start with just a quarantine check-in, just to see how you were. So of course, how are you? And then check in on you, see what you've accomplished, tell the people about the great things you're doing in quarantine.
How am I and how am I?
Yep. That good stuff.
Okay. Quarantine. I'm just trying to be out here getting fine on y'all hoes. I know a lot of the gals, you're drinking the shitty tea and tightening up your waist belts, and I ain't mad at you.
Is it called shitty tea because it's shitty, or it makes you go to the
Oh
bathroom?
no, because it makes you shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the tea of runs, because it's gonna give you the runs. Okay. And I'm not mad at that at all. If you'd rather poop, I just like to work out. I like to be moving. So I've been working out twice a day, and also I don't sit down until like 5 p.m. every day, and I just be walking and running and walking and running in between workouts. So if I come out of this quarantine and I don't have abs, I will not be coming out for the rest of the year. That's on period.
Okay.
Because
Okay,
I believe
good
that
to
I
know.
should be able to be like Kendall Jenner on Easter Sunday and be able to wear a belly shirt all the time. So
Does Kendall Jenner wear a lot of belly shirts?
no, she wore a belly shirt to Easter Sunday.
Was that a song, or did this really happen? That sounds like a song lyric.
No, it really happened. This is like 2 years ago. They all went to church on Easter Sunday, and she was wearing like a belly shirt, and I was like, this is a Caucasian church. Okay, this is interesting. Because my grandma would have ripped my ears off of the side of my face. But God bless. Anybody that's on your journey, you do what you want. But anyway, I'm just trying to wear these belly shirts. So I just been working out a lot and reading and cleaning and cooking, and that's about it. What about you, Queen?
That sounds like a good time. I exercised yesterday for the first time since I hurt my shoulder trying to learn how to break dance.
Oh yes, breakdancing queen over there. I know y'all seen her on the gram. Tearing it
Yeah, I
up.
was doing that for a little while till I jacked up my shoulder, and then I stopped doing all of the physical things for a minute. But I'm trying to get back on the horse. I probably won't be able to exercise today because I wasted a lot of time watching Housewives of Atlanta and Empire. But so on when I'm not watching Housewives of Atlanta and Empire, I do some reflecting. I did a reflection. I watched what's that movie I was talking about?
Inception?
No, not. Did you watch Inception?
No, not yet.
Okay. Above the Rim. It's got Tupac in it, and they put it on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, let me add this to my list of Tupac films because he has like 9, and I've seen like 6 6 of them. Yeah, 6 out of 9. So I got 3 more, and I'll be all done with my Tupac films. But anyway, like say that to say I'll watch a film and do a reflection on it. So I did that today. I did my reflection on it and watched it yesterday. So film reflections, commentaries for filmmaking, watching YouTube videos about filmmaking, lots of film things.
That's awesome. Y'all hear my good sis out here working on her craft? Do y'all hear this? Are y'all listening? She wants to do film, so she is watching film and doing breakdowns of the film and looking at what they use to make videos and their budgets and what kind of, what's the word? I don't know the word for it. I'm gonna fuck it up, but the lighting, the big lighting things.
Diffusion, yeah.
Panels, whatever. Out here learning the things, listening to the commentary. It's lit. I'm really proud of you, Queen.
Yeah, thank you. You know, my mood was, first of all, I have been very inspired by your favorite queen when she did her documentary and she was like, people don't like to study. I took that as a personal attack. So I was like, okay. I mean, I studied African American studies, and I think, you know, people know that, of course. But I was like, okay, cool. Let me study filmmaking. So I was like, if I can't go out and shoot things because, you know, I don't have this camera or this lens, like I want to now. Like I've kind of, when I first started, I was just doing stuff with my phone. And I won't stop completely doing and shooting with my phone, but I kind of want to move to like using lenses and learning how they work and that kind of thing. So said it to say, just because I can't go out and shoot a music video right now, I was like, well, at least I could do was watch a new film. And you will be surprised the way that stuff helps you. Like I literally was putting together something for an artist that I'm supposed to be working with when the coronavirus and the quarantines and whatnot are over. And I literally, even though I didn't like the movie itself, I was able to use a concept from a movie I watched to help me create a concept for a music video. So said it to say, studying and watching and viewing and screening has come in handy. So that's what I've been up to.
Indeed.
Lots of film stuff. Reading. I'm reading, still working on Conscious Capitalism. I feel like I've been reading that book since I was born. And reading Sister Outsider, which is by Audre Lorde. I'm trying to read more work by women. Everybody knows that I have read lots and lots of books about Malcolm X and the Panthers. And I've read, you know, don't get me wrong, I've read like Assata Shakur and Elaine Brown, but I just don't have a lot of women theory or feminist theory or, you know, black women in my on my bookcase, on my bookshelf. So I'm trying to like add to that. So like after this, I think the next book I'm going to order will be about Harriet Tubman, her like her, kind of like her autobiography, but you know, I think when she died, I'm pretty sure when she died she couldn't read or write, so like it was, you know, transcribed for her basically. But ordering that and then ordering another book about finance because I am trying to be self-made out here, as we have talked about on many occasions. So
you can never have enough of that.
Yeah, that's absolutely not. So basically I'm going to continue to try to read, like I used to do like, you know, I used to read like 3 books at a time. So one might be a health oriented book, like, oh, here's a book about vegan diets. And the other book I'm reading is about Black history. And the other book I'm reading is about, I don't even know, something random. But now I think I'm about to try to like do a Black history book and then a money book. And do that consecutively for the rest of the year will be my goal.
Oh, yes.
So
I think right now I have cracked open a self-help book and then just a fun autobiography. But yeah, same thing. I try to give myself that break of reading 2 books at a time, just so one might be more intense and more statistical and more just denser of a read. And then another one that'll be like, okay, this can help me in a different area. So I'm not like overloading my brain with information. I can actually retain some of it. But yeah, that's what's up.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so that's what I've been up to. So that's my first thing for month in the review, but I also have one more, so I don't know if you want to switch off.
Okay, sure. I just wanted to shout out that Michelle Obama, the only first lady that I've ever had, is releasing a documentary on Netflix tomorrow, Wednesday, May 6th. Based on her book, Becoming, which, if anybody follows me, you know that I've read it. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a very good book. It mostly talks about, I guess, her life, and with the being first lady being just like a portion and a fraction of her life, as you probably already knew that. I mean, she's Princeton educated. She's Harvard educated. She is our smartest first lady ever. And so, yeah, I'm really excited for her documentary to come out because if somebody doesn't like to read or doesn't have time to read, I think it'd be really exciting for them to see the documentary. Just see, like, who she really is as a woman because, you know, you might know her as the FLOTUS or Barack Obama's wife, but she, was her own woman and was far more advanced than Mr. Barack Obama whenever she met him. So I just think it's pretty cool. I'm excited for her.
Absolutely, that is very exciting. Okay, yes, ma'am. Shout out to the first lady. Some people's still first lady. You know what I'm saying? So yes, ma'am. That's very exciting. Definitely got to check that out. Wow, I just had some lightning flash. I was not prepared.
Oh, is it storming
Anyway.
over there?
It was coming through. I thought it had already gone, but now I'm looking at the lightning and I'm like, oof, I'm one of them black folk that like turn everything off. I actually literally saw somebody talking about it on social media, and I feel like she was saying, like, I feel like there's no scientific data to prove that turning everything electrical off in your house will like save you from getting struck by lightning, like your house. But
Yeah.
I'm one of them black folks that was raised to do that, so I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a Southern thing. Like, I don't know if
Absolutely.
Northern black people do that, but my family don't play about that stuff.
Me. That is me. I am them. Yes. Okay. Was that? Were you done with that? Are you done all in general with Month in Review?
I am.
Okay. I got one. Well, that was something high. Let's go low now.
Oh no! Damn it! I see what you did there.
Yep, that was a nice segue. Pun intended. So I wanted to talk about Amazon, starting with Tim Bray. So, Tim Bray was the former Amazon vice president and a distinguished engineer, and he announced his resignation on Monday in protest of Amazon firing whistleblowers. The company fired workers who openly criticized the warehouse conditions during the pandemic. And he was basically talking about how like he just couldn't be a part of the things, like he didn't think that was okay, so he had to dip on up out of there. But since he resigned on Monday, and mind you, I should have paid more attention to the date, so I don't know if that meant like yesterday or if it meant like last week Monday, but since he resigned on Monday, he's already gotten offers from Google, Comcast, and another company that I cannot pronounce. So shout out to him for basically saying, I'm not with this fuck shit and I don't want to be a part of. Basically, he felt like staying with the company meant like that he, upheld those views and values, which I definitely contend with. So I thought it was very dope that he dipped out, and I'm happy that the universe has rewarded him for that by having other job offers ready for him. But I also want to talk about Chris Smalls and just in general Amazon being pretty shitty. So in March, a assistant manager at the, let me make sure I get the place right, Staten Island warehouse was organizing a protest, and he got fired. Did I say his name was Chris Smalls? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, so he got fired. So that's one of the whistleblowers who got fired. And then in April, 2 designers who criticized the company's treatment of warehouse workers also got fired. So basically, Amazon has a history over the last couple of weeks of firing people who are basically saying, hey, I love my job, but I don't want to die, which is very unfortunate. Chris particularly got fired the same day as the protest that he organized. And essentially all they were protesting was, wanting, like, let me see, I have the demands down here somewhere. Oh yeah, they were just demanding that, so one person at the time caught COVID-19 at the warehouse in Staten Island that Chris works at, and all they were demanding was that the warehouse be closed down long enough to do a deep clean and that they get paid for those days that they wouldn't be working. And, I meant to look up Jeff Bezos' net worth. I tried to look up Amazon's net worth, but it brought up
It is
like
approximately $1 trillion. He was
okay.
a multi-billionaire, and now he is a trillionaire.
Wow. Okay. So there's that, which is insane. Because as we have, I don't know if you saw that meme that was like, people can't even fathom how much $1 billion is. Like, it's not even comparable to $1 million. But yeah, so I'm just like, wow, sir, you literally could take a little bit of your money and pay these people. It's one warehouse. Yeah. You would be okay. Yeah. With $1 trillion. So then I tried to look up Amazon's like net, like how much Amazon is worth, and it brought up its stock price, and I swear it was like $1,000. Oh, and I was like, good Lord, for a stock. Yeah. For one. But yeah, so there was that, and so then like for instance that the protest that Chris organized, was supposed to be 100 workers who were gonna do a walkout, and they said it ended up being 50, but then Amazon tried to say that it was only 15. So to me, it's just, I'm just like, why lie? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, to me, if it was really 50 and Amazon is coming out saying it was only 15, that means they're trying to cover shit up. Yeah. It's not a good look. Yeah. But also on March 17th, there was a protest in Italy at the warehouses overseas. And so, let me see. Again, 2 people got COVID, and they were again, just protesting the company's reaction to the crisis. So Amazon is coming out and saying like, nah, we're doing everything we're supposed to do. Like in March, they said they had implemented new policies that included 3 feet distancing, which that right there. Yeah, I was like, that right there is already not enough because they were saying 6 feet, then they were saying 10 feet. Now, I think in March they were just saying 6. I feel like 10 feet became like it came after the 6 feet thing. So I was like, well, that's already, not going to work. They said they were going to end security checks because that probably causes people to be in close proximity and a lot of people on top of each other. They said they were going to distribute sanitizer and antibacterial spray, but there were people working in the warehouses, and because I read so many articles, I'm not sure if it was the ones in Italy or the ones over here or both, but they were saying like there wasn't enough hand sanitizer, there wasn't enough antibacterial spray, like they had empty bottles. Some of the sanitizer dispensers would be empty at times. They were saying they were rationing out 2 pair of gloves for the whole week. And then just in general, being in a warehouse, they were like, it's nearly impossible to follow even the 3 feet distancing protocol. Yeah. So basically, I am going to not shop with Amazon as much as possible. I had already heard bad things.
But I feel like that's so hard. Like, we're literally stuck at home.
No, I know, but I feel like it's like, and I mean, I don't want to compare like suffering, but I feel like this is not hard in comparison to walking for 360 something days trying to boycott buses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
To
that's
me,
fair.
being like, to me, oh, I can't get my DVD tomorrow. Like, oh, I'm about to die. Like, what kind of privilege is that?
Yeah.
Like, literally, when I was ordering those books for you for your birthday, I was like, this is probably going to be the last time. Like, otherwise, I'm just going to try to order things from somewhere else. Now, don't get me wrong. Again, and I think that's why so many companies are able to thrive off of this kind of stuff is because, for instance, myself, like, working part-time or even working full-time with the rate that I get paid, like if I can save $4 on a book because I ordered it as Amazon as opposed to ordering it at Thrift Books where I got to pay $5 more for it, I'm going to order it at Amazon normally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same thing with like, oh, okay, I'm going to order it at Amazon because I can wait 2 days or I can wait 7. But I do try to time my books out, particularly like if I know I got 7 more days worth of reading left, I go ahead and order my books from Thrift Books. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not to say Thrift Books or any other company is perfect, but it's kind of like once I know something is wrong with a company, for instance, to me, it is an intense moral non-starter to know that Amazon is not only not even protecting their employees, but when someone says, hey, I don't feel safe coming to work, hey, can you shut down the factory just long enough to spray it down because we know somebody here has gotten this virus that is out here killing people, they're like, oh, you're fired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that makes me sad.
And especially because it's like, if you, there's been plenty of times I ordered things on Prime, and it's supposed to be 2 days delivery, whatever, but it might come in 3, 4, 5 days sometimes. Sometimes it takes a little longer, even if it is Prime. So it's like, is it really going to throw a wrench in your plans to shut down the factory? Which I don't know. Maybe that means that it's double the orders by the time you come back, or triple or quadruple. Maybe it's that much harder to catch up, or you just can't catch up because it's too overwhelming. I don't know. I'm not these people, but it is sad that she's like, damn, you can't shut it down long enough to wash it. Like, that seems a little crazy.
Right. And the same thing, like, and mind you, over in Italy, I don't know how many, I don't know if it was all of them, but the factories, like at least a couple of them got closed down and have been closed down. I don't remember when, I think the article was written in March, but I think they said they were going to close it down until like April 22nd or something like that. So I'm not sure if they reopened it back up, but that just goes to show you again how different our governments are, because the the Italian government stepped in and was like, oh, y'all doing some fuck shit? We'll close you down. And so then, of course, they were like, well, what we'll do is offset it to other factories that aren't closed down. And I was like, well, damn, I also hate it for them, because now they probably gonna have to be even more on top of each other. But at the same time, I guess all you can do is stand for something or fall for everything, because at the end of the day, personally, I no longer want to shop with a company, because this ain't the first thing I've heard about Amazon. They also, people got fired for being a part of a basically trying to get Amazon to be more conscientious of the ways in which they can help with the climate crisis, on top of the ways in which they themselves are contributing to it. Because I haven't read exact articles about it, but I have heard people say that, like, and it makes sense intuitively that if Amazon is flying all these planes trying to get people they fucking pens overnight, and they coming from LA to Charlotte, like, is that really necessary? Should we really blast a hole into the ozone or flood a beach, flood up somebody's house because hurricanes are getting so out of hand just because you needed your pens overnight? Like, is it worth it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes, and then mind you, then they were also talking about just shipping essential things. And then, like, I'm reading some people saying, like, some officials at Amazon, now, again, I'm not sure if this is the Italy part or the United States part, but they were like, well, we don't really know what essential is. And I'm like, If you're gonna die without it, it's probably essential. Like if it's food, cool, you know what I'm saying? But if it's, again, like I ordered a DVD, but I didn't order it from Amazon. Like, but I'm not about to die because I can't get that DVD.
Yeah.
Like I will be okay. And that's not to say that I know people are not going through different mental health issues. You don't need certain things to get through those. So like if for you it is life or death to get this DVD because it's gonna stop you from hurting yourself in some way, I get that. But I'm talking about me personally.
Yeah.
And it also, if it means people getting fired, losing their jobs, being threatened. Like they talked about how when Chris Smalls from the Staten Island, I can't think of the word. The what's it called? The Staten Island plant, I guess you could say. I can't think of the right word. But how like emails leaked talking about like just talking really poorly about him and then trying to like Amazon trying to save its own butt and make it save face and that kind of thing. And I'm like, again, it's just sad that it's a whole bunch of powerful people taking advantage of like issues that we have in our country with class. Because even the guy that quit on the VP side, the vice president / engineer, Tim Bray, he was saying that it's not like that on the website. So he works for the web part of the company, like web development and that kind of stuff. He was like, people are treated humanely there. They're paid well. He's like, it's literally y'all taking advantage of like the weakest, poorest, least paid people, you know what I'm saying, in general in the world, but of course, particularly at this company. So again, and it makes it that much worse to know that the person that owns the whole thing is now a trillionaire.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So they say that to say, you know, I'm not telling other people what to do with their time and money, but I will say this: as much as I can help myself, I will be trying not to participate in the Amazon tings, including trying to get rid of my Fire Stick and replace it with a Roku. Because even that, like, I literally get email, like I can get a free app and I get an email from Amazon. Hey, we saw that you did such and such, and I know they get money for it. I know they get paid some kind of way.
Yeah.
So sickening when you become a monopoly in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my month in review. That's what's been going on over the last couple of weeks. While I've been at home safely and soundly, people have just been going to work trying to get to your pens overnight and losing their jobs because they don't want to catch the coronavirus because you needed your pens. You know what I'm saying?
Right. All right, moving on. Blank While Black. City, do you have a Blank While Black?
No, I do, and it is also quite sad. And you have, well, I guess Blank While Black is always
I
sad.
have one Blank While Black, but you can go ahead.
Okay. So in other news, on top of all the other things you can't do while being black, as I think we've already stated on this podcast, do not be black. Wow, that lightning flash was intense. Sorry, y'all. I'm not even afraid of lightning. I just normally turn everything out. That's all. But anyway, in other news of Blank While Black, don't be black during a pandemic. I was reading an article by The Nation, and they were talking about how black people have to face two predators right now. They have to worry about COVID-19 killing them disproportionately in comparison to their white counterparts. And then they have to worry about police and their racial bias, such as that of New York City, where if you are in the West Village, you will be stopped by your friendly police officer to hand you a mask. But that will also be most likely if you are white and congregating with way too many people and disobeying social distancing orders. However, right over in the East Village, if you are black, disobeying social distancing orders, you will be brutally beaten and arrested, as we have seen in several different videos. Just quite sad.
When you get brutally beaten and arrested, are you put into a safe place for people who might be exposed to coronavirus or like a medical center?
Hold on.
Or are you put into an overwhelmed prison system where you will most likely positively contract the virus?
Right. Then there's that. It's just a mess. It's simply a mess. Wow, I had my quote pulled up and now I lost it, but I'm gonna find it. But The Nation was talking about how so basically something I wanted to ask you, which I think of course I already know your answer, but no need to assume. This article and the author of the article is saying that he feels like the coronavirus has given even more power to law enforcement. What do you feel? What do you think about that?
That's probably more accurate because it's like if people are operating out of fear, everybody's afraid of this virus, et cetera, so you really not going to give a fuck if a cop body slams the head of a child into the concrete because they're disobeying rules that could possibly get you sick. Like, Oh, I don't care about them body slamming them. They shouldn't have been outside. Okay, but they're still a person. Still don't need to be body slammed into concrete. Still don't need to be beaten with nightsticks. Still don't need to be shot and killed. Like, that's not going to help anything. But yeah, no, I think that they fully abuse this power and etc.
Yeah, another point I wanted to bring up was, and this was mentioned in the article also, a YouTuber that I listened to, called Rodney the Voice. He was talking about how he didn't feel safe wearing a mask in public because of his blackness. And I was like, that wasn't even something I thought about. And I think that that is where both race and sex come into play. Mm-hmm. Not to say black women are not targeted and brutalized by the criminal justice system in its entirety, but like specifically police. But like, I think particularly as a black man, there's a fear of going into this Walmart with this bandana tied around my face. Like, and I was like, right, I didn't even think about that. Like, because I mean, of course, like, think about, because even in the author of the article, the Nation article, he was talking about how, he know a day is going to come where he's going to tell his son that it's not okay to wear hoodies. Like, he was talking about how his son wears like a dinosaur hoodie. I guess he got like a child or whatever. Aww. And I'm like, that is like so sad. So like, basically, if we know Trayvon Martin can get, shot and killed for being black and in a hoodie with Skittles and soda or whatever, like a black man could be harmed or killed for having on a mask because, why are you black and in a mask? Like, why are you black and in a bandana, especially a bandana or any face mask? Because, again, like, we already see black people as scary. Then you got a mask on top of that. Oh, you definitely finna rob us.
Right.
And I was like, wow, that is very sad.
Something I've been thinking about is, like, when is it going to be, acceptable for, like, when is it not going to be acceptable for us to wear a mask in public? And I asked that because I'm like, well, when I do start going back to work, are they going to try to tell me I can't wear a face mask no more because the virus is over? Because I don't trust you bitches. And if I want to wear a face mask for the rest of my life, anytime I'm in public, I should be allowed to do that. But mind you, I can't go into the bank with a face mask on, but also, why not? People are going in there right now with a face mask on. Like, at what point are y'all going to tell me that you're forcing me to wear it? If you're caught outside without a mask, I'm going to fine you $1,000. Like, I'm being forced to wear it. To at some point, you going to tell me I better not wear it or I'm going to get arrested or fined or what have you, when genuinely, I don't know when this virus is going to be over, and I don't give a fuck if y'all open outside tomorrow, which actually in California, they talking about doing, even though death tolls are still climbing. So I'm perplexed.
All right. Yeah, it's a mess. And it's very scary, like you said, because I know that's gonna be me. I just got a call from my manager yesterday, and she was telling me that it probably won't be till like May 31st when I go back to work, which was fine with me, honestly. I have no complaints as far as not being in the public and having to be around people I don't know. And she's talking about how busy it's been, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to see 100 people I don't know every single day. I would literally have so much anxiety. So I'm okay with that. But it's just like, when I do start going back, they talking about second waves and how it's gonna be even worse when like it's flu season, and I'm like, like, honestly, it seems like to me that people should be wearing face masks in public based off of what I have read. And mind you, I know the data and the information is changing every day, but back to like a couple of weeks ago when I was reading about this stuff every day, they were saying that it wasn't going to be until 2021 when things will return to normal. So I'm like, yeah, you should definitely spend the rest of 2020 wearing face masks if you in public. It seems like, and also being as around as few people as possible for the rest of 2020 into like 2021. I mean, just the way this virus is affecting people in their bodies, better safe than sorry. Like, I'm gonna be staying home, FaceTiming my friends, wearing face masks when I go to Walmart. Walmart would be the only place I'm going, and then I'm coming home. Again, like, I feel like, not getting too much off subject because I do want to quote this article in a second, but like, I feel like I read this quote by Audre Lorde that was basically like, we are much more aware of what we like don't have than do have. I think that's how she worded it. And it makes me think about, like, I mean, there's no better time to be dealing with a pandemic with how far we've come technologically than right now. Like, imagine if this were 1600 and this was going on. Like, the only way I communicate with my friends or my family is by riding my horse to go see them and be in their house. Like, now you can literally hop on FaceTime. You got social media to stay updated with people. You have, like I told you, on our last podcast, I think it was, like, I literally did a game night over Zoom conference with, like, I don't know, 8, 10, 12 people. And it's like, so it's like, there's no better time than now to be dealing with this, because honestly, it's like, I feel like we're still not, like, and I'm speaking for the people who of course don't have the virus, but just in a way that we can relate with each other. I don't feel like we're dealing with anything like what people have had to deal with in the past. So, yeah, there's just I personally feel like there's a lot to still be grateful for in the midst of this pandemic. So yeah, I'm just gonna be wearing my face mask and staying in the house. You know what I'm saying? And wearing one as long as possible. I guess I'm just gonna take full advantage of my Black womanness. And hoping that being a woman particularly makes me a little bit less scary with a face mask on. Oh, but who knows? Who truly knows? But I did want to read this quote, though.
Okay.
And the author of this article is Elie Mystal, and he said, "We know what's going to happen, yet no government officials, be they in red states or blue, seem willing to do anything to stop the impending over-policing of places that Black people occupy. We know white people will congregate at beaches without keeping appropriate distance from each other, while Black people will be chased off courts and playgrounds by police zealously enforcing new rules. We know that white bars will exceed occupancy guidelines with impunity, while Black clubs will be fined for packing too many people inside. We know that white people who violently threaten police officers trying to enforce social distancing will get off with a warning, while Black people who so much as talk back to a cop will get the snot beat out of them, or worse." And when I read it, I was just like, damn, like, I just feel like, because I've seen articles that say that, like, basically the racial bias is undeniable at this point. Like, we literally are all facing the same pandemic, being COVID-19, and we are literally seeing white people breaking the exact same law or rule as Black people, just being handed a face mask and police carrying on about their business and going on. While the same rule, being social distancing, is broken by someone with Black skin and who might be male, hanging out with some male friends. Now, don't get me wrong, again, not saying that anybody's right, because like I just said, I'm staying my ass in the house. I don't even want to see one person that I don't live with. Honestly, if I could have it my way, I'd live by myself. But that's just how much I am trying to social distance. But like, it's just still like, we have to be cognizant and honest with ourselves at the fact that these same, like, these Black people are breaking the same rule as these white people, and these Black people are getting their head sat on, they're getting punched in the face, they're getting arrested. Meanwhile, literally in the same city, across whatever bridge or whatever body of water, white people just chilling at beaches and parks and living their merry white lives and get to go on about their day, while people are being emotionally and physically brutalized simply for being Black. Because you can't say this because they broke a social distance order, because the white people did the same thing. So yeah, sad, cry. I wish everyone the best, Black people, and I even hate to be like, just follow the rules, because you could still be following the rules and get your ass beat. But then at the same time, the problem is not following the rules. The problem is that we're just not fair. You know what I'm saying? Our criminal justice system is simply just not fair. Like, I just do not like the fact that you're gonna get your ass beat for breaking the same law that Karen broke. So yeah, basically, actually, what I will say with my cry is vote. Because I've heard that's the best way to try to get anything done, is voting for people who say they ain't gonna do shit like this, or who would, you know, be tough. Like, if you're gonna be tough on crime, like, I wish we could be tough on police. Like, that should be I'm the next politician that run for president. I want that to be their slogan. Because I am simply tired of hearing about this police officer who got 6 civil suits for beating people asses and is still on the same NYPD police force. Like, what the hell's going on? So yeah, sorry y'all. I had to get out my frustration and vent.
Well, don't be done with your frustration yet. And blank while Black, even when you're not disobeying any rules, you are minding your Black ass business, trying to keep yourself healthy and your immune system up. If you are running around your own neighborhood in Georgia, be sure to know that your Black ass will be chased down by a father-son duo with their Magnum revolver and their shotgun, and they will try to stop you from running and then kill you. This story is about Ahmaud Arbery, who is only 25 years old, who often was seen running around his neighborhood trying to get exercise outside. Also, we're in a pandemic, so what else the fuck can you do? Right. Around 1 o'clock, he was running in his neighborhood, or around his neighborhood in Georgia, where a man saw this, I guess a white man in his house saw that this young man was running outside, and called his son and told him to get over there. And they jumped in their truck, grabbed their guns, and followed this man down some streets trying to cut him off, but apparently could not cut him off. So then they get out of the car. One is in the back of the car, the other one is driving. Apparently there's a third person involved, but we did not I couldn't find any more information about the third person who was also chasing Ahmaud down. But it was Gregory and Travis McMichael who chased him down in the car, and then as soon as they came into confrontation, shot him twice and killed him on his run. Now, there have been no arrests made in this.
Of course not.
Of course not. Why would there be? But when they were chasing him down in the car, they were allegedly yelling, "Stop, stop, we want to talk to you," because there had been, of course, as this is always the excuse, break-ins recently in the area, and he matched the description of somebody who had been breaking into houses in the area.
Oh,
of course, naturally, you want to chase him down with your guns and try to shoot him.
I think the descriptions must simply be black.
Oh, absolutely.
And male.
Hello.
Running.
Black.
Black male running.
Just black, actually anything. And they're pretty much good to go to use that as an excuse that they fit a description.
Right.
So then, so at first the prosecutors, two of them had to I forget what it's called, but they had to recuse themselves from the case because of ties to the case, whether that be a family member or knowing someone personally. Gregory McMichael actually worked in the judicial district with the first prosecutor, so she had to be excused, and then the second person had to be excused because they had a tie with, I don't know, the son or something. So either way, it's now on the third person. But as of today, a video has surfaced of the shooting.
Oh,
so
wonderful.
Now the district attorney is trying to put fire under the feet, saying that it needs to, I guess, go to a higher court. I'm not really sure how that works, but basically they were even arguing if it should even go to court because these people are standing their ground. And in Georgia, it's their legal right to carry their guns. It's their legal right to do a citizen's arrest if they think a crime is in the middle of being committed. Mind you, if you thought this man had been robbing houses, if he was outside running, even if he was running away from the house, that means the crime is no longer being committed. Like, he's not in the process of the crime. So how they're even allowed to use that excuse is beyond me. But the fact is, the law doesn't tell you that you can get in your truck with guns and chase down people, like, you know, in a group or with 2 or 3 people and chase down just one person. Like, this is just very reminiscent of just slave times, of Jim Crow. Like, this is disgusting, and it's completely unfair that it has even taken this long for an arrest or anything. So,
when was it? When did it happen originally?
Give me the lion. I couldn't find the date, but I think it's been like since February.
Oh, wow.
Yes. February 23rd. And so it's still not getting attention. Mind you, everyone now is in quarantine, so it's kind of like, you know, when other things happened before, we could broadcast it, we could protest, we could do X, Y, and Z, and now it's like the family was afraid that with everybody being in quarantine, it's going to be another black name swept under a rug, like another name who doesn't get, quote unquote, get to go viral and get their stories heard and justice for them found. Which obviously, if they dragging their feet this long, that is a fact. Like, you saying that these people have a right to chase somebody down with guns in their truck, it tells us all we need to know. Like, you are really trying to justify this because allegedly there was robberies in the area and you happen to see a black man running, not running from a house. No, that was in the middle of being broken into, not running with a weapon, literally running in his neighborhood as he's done on more than one occasion. So it's just really sad because I think about the fact that I'm 26 and I run in my neighborhood and in adjacent neighborhoods every single day, like 7 miles a day. I'm in somebody else's neighborhood, and that could easily be me. Like, I run with my headphones on, and I'm like, I just pray like over myself even when I run, because I'm like, you know, if somebody's beeping a horn at me or yelling things at me, I got on my headphones, I don't hear them, I turn around to a barrel of a gun. Like, that's not going to be something shocking or something that stops people in their tracks. I'm like, oh yeah, that is crazy, and keep on going about their day. Or they must have had a reason, or, you know, they were probably trying to protect their own property, or you fit the description of somebody that was just committed a crime. Like, bitch, I don't give a fuck what description to you that I fit. I'm running past you. How did you even get a good look at me? I'm running past you. and
Right.
running away from your truck that is chasing me down. Like, but we already saw with Trayvon Martin that that's okay to people to be chased down. Literally,
Right.
I'm not inside your home. I'm not stealing from you. I'm not robbing you. I'm outside minding my own black ass business, and I can still be murdered because I made a white person uncomfortable with my blackness. That's stupid as fuck. So in Blank While Black, don't jog in your own neighborhood or neighborhoods adjacent to your own house because you're black. You're black. Do not be outside running. You look suspicious because you are taking flight. You are out here running. You already look suspicious. Go ahead and expect a bullet in your face.
Right. That's a damn shame.
Whew.
Yeah,
I would
Blank
like
While
to,
Black, man. Blank While Black.
I would like to move on to semi-lighter things.
Alrighty. Sounds about white.
Sounds about white.
Alrighty. Here we go. You know I don't have one, so.
Oh, but you do. And I'm going to tell you what it is in case you forgot.
Oh, is it that girl painting them masks?
Oh, you know what? No, but fuck her as well. I just wanted to tell you, Sydney, my best friend, that I don't want to hear you say sexist and racist slurs anymore. So if you could kindly stop using the word
Oh, is it word Karen?
if you could kindly stop saying Karen, I would greatly appreciate it.
Oh my God, I saw that. Oh my God.
If you don't know, Karen people should now be on your naughty word list. We are not allowed to say it because it's racist and it's sexist and classist. That's right, people. The Karens of the world, aka just general upset white people, want you to stop saying Karen because it hurts their feelings. Now, I don't know when it first started, but a woman named Julie Bindle tweeted, "Does anyone else think that Karen is a slur? It's woman-hating and based in class prejudice?" And then you see a slew of tweets saying, "Oh, it's certainly used enough by white men, morphed into this misogynistic slur. Those names, they're degrading the working class. It's ageist because sometimes they call us Sharon or Tracy and Susan, and now it's Karen because of our age, etc. Sometimes it's Becky. Blah 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 blah." Yeah, so the Karens of the world are upset, but more importantly, and sounds about white, they are on God's internet spray painting Karen into their hairs and then making a line through it because they are standing in protest of being called Karen. Not only that, let me find the exact quote because I cannot wait.
What?
I cannot wait to share this with you.
Oh no.
God.
Oh no. Not spraying it in their hair. And I feel like I can see this.
Oh wow,
already.
I will be certain to send that picture right on over because my God. Damn it, I can't find the exact quote, but I will say that somebody had also tweeted that it is worse than the N-word because it is currently being used now, and it is both against women and minorities, and it's ageist, so it's worse than the N-word.
Oh yeah, I saw that worse than the N-word bullshit, and I was like, well, again, as has been said on many occasions, notice that one of these words is not being said, and the other one is. Like one of these words is so bad that we're not even saying it when we're saying which one not to say.
And we are the alleged, owners of that title, and we're not saying it. So, people's names are Karen. Karen. This is actually the most Karen thing that's ever been said. Karen. It's literally stupid, Karen, that you would think Karen is a slur, Karen. I mean, it's literally, okay, so it's literally, I don't know where she got this white men say it. I personally don't really hang around that many white men, so I can't tell you what they say and what they don't say. But what I will say is black people have also been calling Karens because we are talking about the fact that y'all are trying to exert like your own energies onto black people for existing. Like, hey, let me go ahead and call the cops on this black family because they're barbecuing at the park, and then I'm gonna cry real white tears when I have to lose my job for it. That's Karening. Asking to speak to the manager about every little thing is Karening. Asking to not have to sit next to black people at a Buffalo Wild Wings is Karening. Sorry, Karen. It's just Karening. And I don't know what to tell you. And if the worst thing in your life that you've ever been called is Karen, you should just really suck it up, Buttercup, because you would really hate to see what it'd be like to be black.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I try to type it in to see this spray painted hair thing you were talking about, and I see an article from the Washington Post that says Karen memes and jokes aren't sexist or racist. Let a Karen explain it to you.
Oh yes, I saw that, but that I think that particular article is written by a black Karen. So.
Oh okay.
But yeah, no, not. God, it just sounded about white. And that's actually all I have to say about it because I don't care to give them too much of my energy. Because it was just Karen as fuck to even say that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was very I really don't know what black people are going through and even the class, with the class thing. Ooh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Pardon me, everyone. The class thing is like, so are you saying that everybody who uses the word Karen is poor? Like, are you calling me a broke bitch? Because I'm confused.
Yeah, I don't know
how it became a class thing.
I don't understand what they're talking about. They're trying to make it into a whole feminist thing, like men make more than us and we deserve as much as white men, but fuck those blacks and those Mexicans and those other coloreds because only we deserve it because we're white. We're lily white and we deserve what other whites get. That's the right to vote and that's the right to make as much money, and that's why it's ageist and sexist and classist.
That's what they're saying. They're saying it like that too, just like
that. That's how they sound to me. Fuck you, Karen, and fuck your haircut, because you also have a classic haircut I'm also tired of. The end.
The end. All right. Well,
I actually have another Sounds About White. I'm sorry. I was saying the end to Karen.
Oh, okay, girl. Keep it on the road. Keep it on the road.
See, you know what? This one is a little bit different.
Okay.
CMS principal, specifically David Switzer of Audrey Kell High School.
Switzer?
Switzer.
Oh, okay.
Has now apologized for referring to people as colored folks during a staff meeting.
Oh, wow.
And Switzer defends himself by saying, I thought I said persons of color. That was my context. And again, I apologize. I really do. I don't say that ever. I don't say the N-word either. Okay, bitch. Did nobody ask you if you said the N-word? So Audrey Kell not only, so if we even just ignore this, Audrey Kell is, if you don't know, just a kind of a majority white ass school in Charlotte, in South Charlotte, and they've got the ducats to have a nice school, which can't relate. So during this past year, 2 years of the school year, they've had incidences where students call the white students call the black students monkeys, call them black boys, tell them to keep their head on a swivel, they're being watched, blah blah blah. So basically Switzer, I don't exactly know what the staff meeting was about, but basically he was trying to promote cultural proficiency, and it was like a training group, and he got copies for all the employees of the school, The Hate You Give, the book, I guess to try to create some cultural sensitivity. I'm really not sure what his purpose was in that. But so he called another meeting after he made the comment in the staff meeting of all the colored folks that work for the school. So all the colored folk teachers, all the colored folk, I don't know, janitors, whoever the fuck was in the meeting. And said he wanted to apologize to them specifically to their face because he did not mean to say what he said. His apology goes as such. If, the end. Because if is all I needed to see to be pissed off. If it matters to you to hear the rest of it, here it is.
Oh my God. I thought you were about to say it started with if it matters.
Oh, no. But basically, if something came out of my mouth, it was not intended in a way to be harmful or insensitive or something to that effect. The gist I was trying to make is that this isn't a black or white issue, right? It's a total diverse everything issue. Be the brakes, not the gas. He invited them to talk to him personally about their issues. Again,
If something was taken out of context, now, mind you, the phrase was colored folks. It doesn't really need much context. If something was taken out of context, I apologize for that. I do know that the remark that people took, whether it was out of context or not, was geared towards African Americans and persons of color. So I wanted to make sure I kind of clear the air on that. Then Switzer says he does not remember exactly what he said and asked,
oh my God.
wait, and asks his colored folk meeting if anyone can tell him what they heard. Mind you, again, this is at the colored meeting that he called to apologize to the coloreds. He says, does anybody remember what I said? Because I don't. And they said, I think what you said was, now let's be honest, this is not about being kind to colored folk. And then he says, I think it was a sarcastic comment you were making from the perspective of someone who might think that all we're doing is focusing on how everyone is to be nice to black folk. Mind you, that was about the diversity. I gave you guys a black ass book, so I can't be racist type of thing. The fact that your apology consists of the word if, and then turn around and say, I don't even remember what I said. If your goal was to never be offensive and say colored folks, etc., he said, I thought I said persons of color. Okay, but bitch, you didn't. So what I'm saying is what you said was rude and offensive. And it's okay. People fuck up. People say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, blah, blah, blah. It's okay. But own up to what you said and what you did. Again, we said when we very first started this podcast, try not to hold things against us as we are growing, learning human beings. And we want people to give us the capacity to grow, to make mistakes, and to also come back and say, hey, you know what? Last week I said blah, 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 and that was out of pocket, or I think differently. Or even if we don't say that, understand that we are people who are capable of change and probably will throughout this podcast. So I have no problem with forgiving people who ask for forgiveness and genuinely mean it and genuinely make an effort to be a better person. But if your apology starts with, well, let me call all the colored folks back. And you say, I'm apologizing to each one of you individually if I said something. Bitch, it ain't no if you said it. You did say it. So what are you talking about? Yeah. And also, you need to call right back that regular staff meeting and apologize to all of them as well. Because you said it in front of, first of all of them and embarrassed us in front of them. But then you only want to apologize to us in private. Which I understand saying, okay, I'm going to call everybody that I offended into this room and apologize to them. But you don't know that you didn't offend anybody else that was in the room, because I'm quite sure that a lot of white people also don't want to hear you call black people colored folks. They are their friends, they are their coworkers, etc. They said that their staff meeting was majority white, and a lot of gasps, quote unquote, came from white people whenever he said that, which a gasp ain't good enough for me, but whatever you're into. So obviously, if they gasped, that means that those white people also knew that you were wrong for what you said. So again, you need to apologize to everyone who was in that meeting, on top of the quote unquote colored folks that was in the meeting. And you need to apologize and actually mean it. And actually choose your words carefully, because you clearly didn't the first time. So when you called them back for an apology, you definitely should have made that a very clear and understanding apology, and not said, hey, if I said that I offended you, also, what did I say? Because I don't even know. Like, come on, bruh. Be more responsible. I don't know. Like, on one hand, I'm like, okay, I can see where you might have persons of color, colored folks. Doesn't really sound the same, but I do understand that people make mistakes. My more focus was on the apology and how you carried that out. Mind you, this school is already facing all these racially charged issues, which is why you gave everyone the Hate U Give book. So it just sounds to me like you'd be more careful, but it's okay. If you weren't, people fuck up, people make mistakes. You obviously had good intentions if you were, having this training program, giving out these books, trying to do things with your staff. But come on, bro. An appropriate apology would have been all it took for me to be like, somebody sent me the story, but I'm going to ignore it because, people fuck up. No, as soon as I was reading the story and saw the apology, I was like, girl, come on, girl.
I've definitely done that before. I was in Walmart one time and I yelled to my mama. I was like, Ma, what are hair care stuff at for colored people? And she was like, and I was like, what's the problem? And she was like, it's not colored people. And I was like, oh, I meant for people of color. But of course, again, I feel like, not to say I'm going to run around saying colored people for the rest of my life, but I do feel like being a black person, just like being a black person and saying nigga is different than a white person saying nigga. I feel like being a black person and saying colored people, because I honestly didn't understand that it was a problem. I.e., just like, not to say that that's what he's saying, but like, so say that to say, I get it. Sometimes you just don't know, but also it is probably different when you are in that group of people at the same time. So also tread lightly. But a couple of things I thought about while you were, giving us the deets and your opinions and whatnot. I thought about the fact that we also need a name for male Karens.
Oh, I fully think that name is covered by Todd.
Oh, I was going to say John.
A John is a good one. But I just feel like I know a lot of Johns. I don't know too many black Todds.
I know one Todd. He's married to Candy Burris, the boss.
Oh. See, I don't watch that, so I didn't know about that. I think that's what they called them on the show 20s, I think it's called. It's a Lena Waithe show, which is bomb as fuck. If you like Insecure, you'll like it. But I think that's what they named those Todds.
Okay. Okay. So, in Todd's case, the other thing I thought about was like it reminds me a lot of the man that bought 17,000 hand sanitizers and then said it was never my intention to keep these from the people that needed them. Okay, well, I'm not exactly sure what your intention is. And so then me and Kalia had a conversation about like accountability, basically. Like, I don't know what it is, and I don't think it's just simply a white thing. I think it's just a people thing. I.e., again, to bring up R. Kelly, just like, if you know you was out here touching little girls, I don't understand why you just don't plead guilty. Your ass needs to go to jail. Like, that's just all it is. Like, I would just like to hope if I did a crime, I would just go, yeah, I plead guilty to that shit. I did it, so yes. Same thing with this guy. Like, to say if, as like you just said, I no longer want to hear anything else you're saying because this is not a real apology, period. I don't give my friends those kind of apologies. So in a more, political place, and when you owe it to even more people when you're apologizing for something, you shouldn't start apologies with if. And you should simply say.
And here's the thing: if you call together this meeting of all the people of color staff to apologize for the comment you made, then that means somebody has told you what you said and why it was offensive and why you probably need to call a meeting or inspired you some way to call a meeting. It probably means that you were reminded of what you said and that it was wrong. So to get into the room and be like, I don't even know what I said, so that's crazy.
Yeah, and then if somebody calls you out on something, and I get it, again, we're all human, but if somebody calls me out on something from this point forward after hearing this story, I would like to be like, okay, I'm gonna take some time to meditate on that, because I also understand, like, when I give apologies, I apologize for 3 reasons. I apologize for what I did, I apologize for the harm it caused, or both. Because sometimes I'll be like, no, I stand by what I did, I'm just sorry it hurt you. Or sometimes it's, oh, damn, I didn't realize that's what I was doing. I'm sorry for what I did. And then I'm sorry I hurt you at the same time. So say that to say, I guess I can even understand him being like, I ain't sorry for saying it. It was an accident, but I'm sorry it hurt y'all. But then you look guilty in the fact that you just started bringing up all other kind of random shit. That's like me going, what he literally said was, I don't remember what I said, and I don't even use the N-word, and I got black friends.
And I have a black neighbor, and my daughter has had sex with a black guy, so boom.
Yeah, like what? A black guy washes my car. I always tip him well.
Because,
it's like, sir, ain't nobody... Right, like, ain't nobody even bring up the rest of that shit, so now I really don't trust your apology.
Right. It was all like, good. But you know what, David? I wish you the best in your journey of understanding why it was wrong and how not to make that mistake again. I truly wish you the best because for the last decade, since 2010, he has been the principal at Audrey Kell, and he has a lot of kids under his care. He has, I want to say it's like 30 something. I've read it, but I done clicked out of the article. But I'm going to say it's like 36% white students, 20-some% Asian students, 12% black students. It's like you have this mixture of kids who are looking at you for their kind of guidance, so to speak, and who have been, they've had all kinds of racist issues.
and you not choosing your words carefully is problematic as fuck. So I really truly hope that you can fix that and you can rectify that in some way by moving forward with better judgment. I really do, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And all these cases where we're hearing about people doing racist bullshit or saying racist things or prejudiced things, because like you said, like he literally has a very important position of power. Now, mind you, the last thing I read about education said it's best to, you know, form and or try to reform racial ideas at younger ages, but still, like, if you're the principal, you know what I'm saying, like you said, like him giving that book to his staff, that's putting information into teachers' minds, right. So that might affect a teacher suspending a black student when they wouldn't suspend a white student for the same thing. Like, we already know about the school to prison pipeline. So like you said, it's a very powerful position. So I do hope that he can try it again. I actually want you to do the whole apology again once you've had some time to rethink about it, to talk, so you don't have to go in there saying, I still don't know what I said, but I'm sorry. Like, how the hell you gonna say you sorry for shit you don't know you did?
Yeah, and honestly, I would take a genuine apology over a quick one. You know, I don't need you to apologize tomorrow for something you said today if you don't mean it or you don't understand what you're apologizing for. Like, honestly, sit down and think about it. And it's really, it could have been that simple. And if you have so many black friends and black coworkers and black this and black that, it really shouldn't be too hard to sit down with a person of color and actually have that conversation.
Right, absolutely. So I wish him well. I wish everybody at Audrey Kell well. I hope nobody is doing any harm. And when you do, apologize and try to make amends. Because, you know, what else do we have these days? Yeah. What else do we have?
Whew. All right. So, sex expectations. Queen, do you have one for me?
All righty. No, I don't. So I was hoping you would ask two of your great ones. One for me and one for you.
Okay. So this is kind of, this first one that I'm talking about, I might just do two because this is a rather lengthy podcast. The first one I wanted to talk about was Clarence and Queen Naja. Naja? Whatever the fuck. Anyways. So Clarence took to Twitter to tweet, "My son is packing," inserts eggplant emoji. "I'm so proud of him," prayer hands. So then, naturally, Clarence was trending on Twitter for being a dumbass and tweeting about his toddler's penis size. He quickly deleted the tweet. And, you know, I feel like in general that might have been it, you know, because men do weird ass shit. But then Queen Naja takes to Twitter to say, "Let me be clear. This tweet was wrong. Sometimes we put things on social media that doesn't represent who we are. That's why he deleted it. But if you think this man sits at home and lusts after his own child, you are wrong and far-reaching, blah, blah, blah. A pedophile is, here's the definition, blah, blah, blah." Why she made this so long, she could have left it at, "That's why he deleted it, period." The fact that you're getting into defending him about being a pedophile is whatever, girl. You could have left it.
What is happening to me again right now as I'm hearing this is the same thing from that principle of, and I don't even use the
right, but I don't even lust my child. What? I didn't say you lusted your child. I said you're a fucking weirdo for tweeting that.
Yeah, but continue.
So at the very end of her, this is the definition of a pedophile, she says, "No, it wasn't the best thing to tweet, but raise your hand if you've ever tweeted something or anything dumb, you know, that you didn't mean." Exactly. So carry on. So as, you know, women do, cleaning up after men, you would think men would just be gracious, take the cleaning, and sit their asses down. But what does Clarence do? He takes to YouTube and makes a video about how it's not weird for him to stand for his son. He says in the video, "I'm proud of everything my son does. I'm going to be proud of him when he starts walking. I'm going to be proud of him when he gets potty trained and takes his first shit. I'm going to be proud of him when he shoots his first basketball. I'm going to be proud of him when he gets his first girlfriend, blah, blah, blah." Then the next video says, "If he was 60 years old and unable to, you know, and I had to clean him up or change his diaper then at 60 years old, I would be cleaning the shit between his cheeks, you know, spreading his cheeks, cleaning out doo-doo. And if he still hung like that, I'm going to be like, 'Hey, that's what's up. We outside, da-da-da. Like, my son got a big dick.'" So my question to the world, really, but I asked two different men about it who had different opinions, but mine stands the same. Is that weird? The fact that he tweeted it, the fact he made a video, the fact he deleted the tweet. What was problematic for you?
Well, let's start with Queen Naja's cleanup act, which I honestly didn't think was that good, especially when she went, have y'all never said anything that y'all didn't think that y'all should be apologetic for, that you got to delete? It's like, girl, stop trying to throw shit on other people. Like, I get not wanting to be judged, but it's just like, take your L by your damn self. Like, to me, it's like me going, oh, Aisha, I did something to hurt you, but I done did worse shit to you before. Right. Like, okay, what the fuck that got to do with anything? So that's the first thing that rubbed me wrong, is just people just, God, they just really can't have no accountability. Like, I literally, first of all, I completely understand how you be like, I'm not apologizing for shit. I don't know y'all hoes nothing. But, you know, if you're going to apologize, cool. You know, I respect either way. But I'm not about to get up here and try to, like, downplay what this problem is by bringing up that y'all got issues too. Like, well, duh. That's a no-brainer. Everybody who's judging you right now got their own issues and shit they shouldn't have said and done before. What they got to do with you apologizing for the ignorant shit your boyfriend just did? Slash baby's father. But the other thing that I think is weird about it is just in general, again, how we conceptualize masculinity and being a man. Like, a man is only as good as how big his penis is, which is why I'm looking at my son's penis already like, yeah. And it, mind you, again, I don't even necessarily have a problem with the fact that he tweeted it or said it, because to act like we're something that we're not doesn't help us to grow. So like, oh, he put it on Twitter. Like, I don't care that he put it on Twitter, because this is how this man thinks. Like, we, you know, he had to be out here for us to be able to have this discussion, for him to understand that something was wrong with it, if he understands that anything is wrong with it, because clearly he did not.
I was gonna say, he clearly
which is
not.
why... Right, which is why, like, even just her saying, like, he deleted the tweet or whatever, it's like, that don't mean shit. That don't mean you know, think any differently, or like, okay, maybe that's a little strange. But I think people do a lot of weird shit that we just think is normal. Like, oh my God, yeah, my son got a big dick. Yeah, like, okay. Like, I would be more concerned about him being a decent human being who knows how to treat women and don't cheat on them and drag them through the mud, and, you know, is going to go get a job that he loves and gets enjoyment out of, and, you know, just, you know, human shit. Like, I just think that we spend a lot of time caring about things that don't really matter. And it is also strange. Like, again, he's already sexualizing his son. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to touch his son or that he's a pedophile. No, but I'm saying in general, he's talking about a child's sexual organs. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird in and of itself. And if you don't see that as strange, I would just take some time to reflect on it, because I think that a man, like, I feel like if this were any other situation, we would have a side eye. Right. Like, if he had said it about a child that wasn't his son, we would be like, what the fuck?
Right. So that's what he
why
says
would you
in
not
his
also
video. He's like, that's not weird that I said that. It's my son. It's my son. I mean, even if he's 60 and his dick is still big, whatever, that's my son. Now, if I said your son got a big dick, that's weird. Nigga, it's weird, period. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's definitely strange. But again, you know, some of us think that our children, we own their bodies and whatnot. And again, some of us feel like we are the reflections of our children, our children's are reflections of us and all that stuff. So it makes sense, because again, you never know, he might be thinking, because my son got a big dick, I got a big dick. Like, that shows the world that I got a big, like, you just never know what people are thinking.
Like, the child is 15 months old. He's literally barely over a year old. And you talking about his sexual reproductive genitals? Like, what is... So here's the thing. When I first seen it, in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, I've heard niggas say that. That's fucking weird shit. Like, I don't like it when I hear niggas say that. Like, you see, like, you know, watching TV shows or, you know, reality TV, or if you've ever been, you know, with a friend or something, when dudes find out that their kid is a boy, they're like, oh yeah, look at the ultrasound, hung like his daddy. To me, that is fucking weird. I would not look at an ultrasound of my baby daughter and be like, pussy lips. Like, come on, bro. That's fucking weird. Like, I wouldn't do that. And to say, well, he's a boy or he's a man, like, he allowed to do that. Okay, so if Clarence got on here and said that about his son, it's okay. But if he says his daughter got fat pussy lips or a fat ass at a fucking year old or ever in life, that's not weird. That's weird to me. That's so weird.
It also just shows you how we treat boys. We really just do not give a fuck about men and them having feelings and being human beings and that kind of stuff. Because again, what's the difference? It's in general, whether you're talking about a vagina or you're talking about a penis, they're both sexual organs.
They're sexual organs.
If you don't see that.
So that was my argument. That was my argument, is that it was that you're sexualizing your child. And, you know, somebody says, no, it's just about masculinity. I'm like, but at the end of the day, the masculinity is tied to your sexuality, according to what this male standard is. You want him to have a big dick because you want him to get bitches and fuck a lot of pussy. Like, that's what you're so obsessed with this big dickness about. Like, But you wouldn't be able to say the same about your daughter. Or even if you were like, oh, he's a man, so he can do that. Okay, well, so if I'm a woman, I can talk about my daughter's fat ass. Like, that's what I can do as a fucking mom to a 1-year-old. I would be like, first of all, if he said that to me, you know, I'm getting an ultrasound. He said that to me, I'd be like, okay, that's fucking weird, period. I would be disgusted. I would let you know I'm disgusted. And I would make it clear that I don't want to hear no weird ass shit like that again. Because I wouldn't trust nobody around my kids. And that's period. But the fact that you took it to Twitter, see, to me, that was the second, but I guess more big part of what was problematic. Because I'm like, if you're not the weirdo, you're not the pedophile, you're not the person lusting over your child's sexual parts of his body, why did you put it on the whole live internet for actual pedophiles to also envision and sexualize your 1-year-old child?
Not even just pedophiles. I just think it's weird that you would, again, it's just weird. Of course it's weird to say it. Of course it's weird to think it, and then it's just also weird to say it. Like, whether you say it to 10 people you're sending around or your 10 million followers.
Right, and like you said, even if it's not any pedophiles that saw your tweet, which I'm sure they had, but even if there's no pedophiles that saw that, as a grown woman who is not a pedophile, I also don't want to be thinking about the penis size of your 1-year-old child. That's disgusting, and it's fucking weird. And I would like to hear more male opinions, because what I've heard so far is, oh, hell yeah, that's weird as fuck. And then also, I hear it all the time, so it's not that weird. I don't give a fuck that you hear it all the time. It doesn't make it less weird. We've heard that Michael Jackson has allegedly touched children. That don't make it weird because we've heard it so many times. It's still weird.
Yeah, I think people, because to me, I understand that, like, people saying it's not weird, because anything that's quote unquote normal isn't weird, but just because it's normal doesn't make it right. More so would be my argument to that. Like, yeah, it's not weird because everybody says it, but really all of it's arbitrary anyway, and nothing really exists, as you already know how I feel. Right. But yeah, it's definitely not. It's not okay. Like, it's not. It shouldn't be normal. You know what I'm saying? Which to me, I guess in this sense, I think the opposite of weird is normal. Yeah. The opposite of, you know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason why I'm saying something different. But yeah, no, doesn't make it right. And like I said, we just do a lot of shit. We do and say a lot of shit that is not okay, but it's just normal. That's why I'd be like, I don't really care if it's normal or not. That shit don't make it right, which is why sometimes you really got to think about things. And you got to think about the generational curses that we continue to pass down. We're just continuing to pass down that all men are their dicks and what they can do with them.
Right. So part of my argument was, okay, so if you hear some weird ass shit like that, I think you should tell your homeboy, yo, that's fucking weird. Like, that's weird, bro. Like, or if a woman is getting her ultrasound and hear her husband or baby daddy say that shit, I would also be like, that's fucking weird. Like, you don't gotta say or do too much to me for me not to trust children around you. I'm very sensitive about children and the fact that they can't help who's raising them and what people are doing to them because they're children. And I'm very sensitive to the fact that I'm like, well, if I hear you saying some weirdo shit, you're not watching my child. I don't give a damn what your relationship is to the child. I don't give a damn if you're the father or not. You say some weird ass shit around me, like that I know you said to or around my children, I'm like, yo, I'm not taking that chance. There's plenty of fathers who have molested their children. I'm not taking no chances. I'm not letting you around my kid. You're being fucking weird. No, hell no.
Yeah. But again, that's another reason why I be like, this is why I don't want no kids, and this is why I don't want no kids with such and such, or this group of people who I typically, when I say group of people, I mean just trash men who qualify as being trash. Like this is like, hearing stuff like that makes me think like, oh God, I'm glad that that's not my baby daddy. Like, I don't want these kind of problems.
Right, and
again,
I'm certainly not caping for his ass, and then letting him turn around and make a whole YouTube video basically saying, I don't give a fuck that my baby mama just apologized for me, because what I want y'all to know is my son got a big dick, and I stand by that. Okay, weirdo, so you've officially said it publicly twice. What the hell?
Yeah, so I'm good. I'm good on my future baby's father's husband to be commenting on my children's genitalia. Because again, like when you make that blanket generalization, like if I just said, hey, in general, this person commented on my child's genitalia, unless it's a doctor, that would make you go, what?
Yeah, I'm sorry, what was said?
Like, if you don't know what was said, if I just say, which is what he did, he commented on a child's genitalia, you would be like, oh, you might want to get your child away from that person. But then when I tell you what it is, we make all these exceptions and create gray areas where there shouldn't be gray areas, I guess, because that shouldn't be a gray area. This man reducing his child, because again, even if it's not of course, like we were saying earlier, even if it's not a pedophilia thing, like reducing your child to their sexual organs is still just like, that's not something I would want from my son. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want him. To me, when you say stuff like that, it just seems like symbols for larger issues that you're going to teach my child. Like, you seem like the type that's going to tell my child, oh yeah, fuck bitches, get money. Don't worry about cheating. Cheat on whoever you want to, because women are disposable toys, and all that matters is that your dick is big and it works. Like, that's what I can imagine you teaching my child if you already out here like, yeah, my son got a big dick and he only like one, can't even talk yet.
Yeah.
Okay, this is fine.
Yikes.
So yeah, that's normally what makes a red flag for me, is when I hear people say certain things. I just be like, if you say that, what else would you say? What else do you agree with that is problematic from a sex standpoint, a gender standpoint, a race standpoint?
And I guess,
You know what I'm
guess
saying?
with that, I would say like it's really so important. Like, y'all really be worried about whether or not a dude got a hairline or something. Talking about like whether that's gonna decide if you have kids with them, when you should be asking them questions that are more important, like about masculinity, about sexualizing, about all of those things that would actually mean something as that person being a father or parent to your child. Not their hairline, not their height, you know, what, any of those things that are more superficial. You need to be worried about if your future baby daddy gonna be on Twitter talking about your child's penis size. That's what you should be worried about.
Yeah, definitely. Talking about a newborn's penis size or a toddler's penis size goes in the same category as letting your 15-year-old son fuck with whoever he wants to, but telling your 18-year-old daughter that she better be a virgin, because and you better know you're gonna take her to the gynecologist and get it checked, and she don't ride no horses. That's what that sounds like.
Oh, do not even get me back fired up about fucking T.I. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
All right, well, let's move on.
But men, what are you gonna do with them? You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna
throw
do
them
with
away and just opt not to reproduce. I don't know.
All right, you got a second question, right?
No, I want to move on. I'm tired of those.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I am officially at Black on Black support. Queen, give it to us.
Were you gonna shout out Tanaya's new YouTube?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, but I might need your help, because when I typed in Tanaya on YouTube,
Oh yes, her YouTube name is Modest Guru.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, help. Thanks for the help. Shout out to our good sis who be out here dressing on the gram, slaying us, giving us makeup tutorials, giving us
not
style
letting us
tips.
breathe at all.
Yeah, foot on our necks. Yeah, she's like Malik. Foot on our neck all the time.
Foot on neck.
Yeah. So yeah, she is a style/fashion blogger, a makeup tutorialist. If that's a word.
You just made it one.
Tutorialist is a word.
Made it one. Nobody's gonna fight you.
Hell yeah. Her Instagram name is Modest Guru Blog. She is out here slaying. She is a digital creator. She's a content creator for the gram, and she has now ventured over to YouTube. Listen, people in 2020 are trying to get in and are also in their bags with the fact that they are serving y'all Instagram, okay? They are serving y'all podcasts. They are serving y'all YouTube channels. People are multifaceted, okay, with the content. They are trying to give you guys endless entertainment and information. So shout out to our good sis Tanaya Turner, who I met through Aisha, for starting a YouTube channel, which is also Modest Guru. Is it Modest Guru Blog or Modest Guru?
It's just Modest Guru on YouTube and Modest Guru Blog on Instagram, I believe.
Yeah, so shout out to the good sis, who is truly a sweetheart and a light, and always positive, beautiful energy every time I'm around her. So I wish her very much success. So y'all check out her YouTube channel, which, because again I couldn't find it, I don't know exactly what she got up there yet, but I'm about to try to see if I can find it.
Oh yeah, I don't know if she's released any videos yet, but I know she said she was relaunching her YouTube page. So I'm excited for that, because literally anything she touches is flawless. It's kind of wild. It's actually very bizarre. Like, everything is so aesthetically pleasing. It's
Oh yeah, when she uploaded when I saw her first makeup tutorial video, I was like, wow, this is stunning. The lighting is really good. I like the depth that you have here. I can tell y'all using like a nice 8500 millimeter lens. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Or more, 135 millimeters. But yeah, just like you said, everything she touches is gold. Her outfits be fire. Her makeup be fire. Her hair be fire. She be styled for the gods. So shout out to this Black queen who is, again, trying to serve y'all on another social media platform. So check out her YouTube channel, which is on the way. I wish I knew when her first YouTube video was coming out, but we'll keep y'all posted. But either way, you can go and subscribe right now because Black people need to support Black people, and people who love fashion need to support people who are already good and love fashion, and makeup and all the things. So shout out to the queen. And again, that is Modest Guru on YouTube and the Modest Guru blog. Modest Guru blog
on Instagram.
No the y'all.
Okay, my first shout out, I've got a couple. My first shout out is going to Lex Safford, my good sis, Lex Safford XO on Instagram. She had just started a new business venture selling vegan hair care and skincare products. So I'm really excited for her. She said this venture has given her the opportunity to create her own schedule, to make her own money, to advocate for women. She said working for this company, it's called Mother Nature, but it's MoNat for short. She said working for this company is giving her just like a lot of empowering energy. And if you know Lex or have ever met her, she is literally one of the sweetest people, and she's always super positive, like always wants to empower women, always wants to help people, whether it's donating clothes or money or time or just offering someone a good conversation. She's a total sweetheart. So if you're interested in skincare and hair care, vegan clean products, check her out, Lex Safford XO on Instagram, and you can go to the link in her bio and check out her page where she sells her products, and ask her also about joining if you're interested in creating your own business and creating your own schedule and making your own money, especially during this time of quarantine. Whew, because girl, we be needing the ducats and the government is not gonna look out, so we got to start learning to look out for ourselves. So shout out to Lex. Love you, girl.
Absolutely. Yes, Sam.
You
said you got multiple,
yes,
right?
Did you have any more?
Okay. No, I only had one.
Okay. Also, I got a submission. I asked the other day on my Instagram for nominations. Actually, Lex was a nomination as well. But for nominations for people that you know in small businesses, whether it's you or somebody that you know, just to support and uplift each other. Especially, again, during this time of quarantine, it's really important that we're shopping within each other, especially if you are avoiding Amazon at all costs or Walmart at all costs or leaving the house in general. It's finding opportunities to provide for ourselves within where we are. So I wanted to shout out to Say It Ain't Vegan on Instagram, Diasia, who sells, I believe, like food plates, vegan food plates, but also has a website called sayitaintvegan.com where she is selling sea moss. So people used to ask me all the time, yes, where the sea moss plug is, and I'm letting y'all know that in Charlotte, North Carolina, and on the website, you can buy sea moss from the good sis at Say It Ain't Vegan. So check her out on Instagram for sure. That's really dope. If you know about the benefits of sea moss, you need to get up on game and get you some, girl. So that is my second one. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to the good King Constantine, who is officially done with school, people. He is graduated. Our Najin King over here. I don't know if that's how you say it. I guess you would just say Nigerian. But our king over here with 2 masters in public health and environmental health and has a job in Minnesota. No big deal. So he's about to relocate. What's it like to be relocated for a job? Obviously, that's very adult of you. Can't relate. But shout out to Cons. Kira took his like graduation pictures, and wow, I was like, you better look stunning over here on the gram, okay? You look great.
She said not to tell nobody she take good pictures.
Oh, okay. Kira doesn't take good pictures, so don't ask. But they look really great on Con's page. It's see you Naka. Is that how you say it?
See, I think it's you.
But I was like, honestly, truly,
don't get me the line.
Like, don't tag the Shade Room on there, because you know they like to put the men's up there. Oh, check out these Najin men, or check out these gingers, or check out these tattoo artists, and swipe through to find your favorite contestant. I was like, don't tag the Shade Room now, because okay, it was looking mighty nice. Congrats, Cons.
Oh, you're trying to keep them to yourself.
That's right. You can't be just telling everybody where all the good Nigerian men are. That's out of pocket. Not gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm trying to relocate to a place, either Nigeria or Ghana, because all I know is find men that went to ECU that were from both of those places. So.
Okay, nice cultured people. It's lit. And then I've talked about friends. I've talked about strangers. And now, people, I want to talk about my mom.
Oh, God.
Okay. Beyonce has now detailed $6 million for COVID-19 relief. So her Be Good Foundation will be supporting mental health and medical services specifically to essential workers. So thinking about your completely overwhelmed and exhausted nurses, delivery people, post office people who work for the government who have to be at work. If you work for the power and water plants, Beyonce with her Be Good Foundation, I believe the efforts are specifically for Houston, where she's from, but don't get me to lying. But shout out to the good queen. She said, in our major cities, African Americans are compromised in a disproportionate number of workers in these indispensable occupations, and they will need mental health support and personal wellness care, including testing and medical services, food supplies, and food deliveries during and after this crisis. So shout out to Queen Bee for caring about people in general, but specifically these people who are overwhelmed. I mean, like, I've literally heard about nurses working like 80 hours in a week. I don't even know what that means. Like, that is overwhelming. It's really crazy. So I'm glad that she's like, hey, y'all need some shoes. Y'all need to talk to a therapist. Y'all need some food. You need to deliver to the house. Okay, you want some Uber Eats? Okay, I got you, girl. Shout out to you, good queen. I love you so much. But also, my good queen did not stop there, okay? When the iconic remix of Savage, the song that we were all tired of, ready to throw away, Beyonce said, no, my child. I will give this song CPR. I will give it back life. My hips will tick-tock when I dance. And not only such, but we will donate all of the proceeds from this remix to COVID relief. So shout out to Beyonce and Megan giving the proceeds of the remix to Bread of Life in Houston. As you know, both the queens are from Houston. And Bread of Life is a nonprofit that supplies food for families, just in general, like, that fall on hardships. But right now they're focusing obviously on families that are affected by COVID-19 and can't buy their own groceries, can't work, etc. Also, the song, I guess, has a link about donations. So their first 24 hours of releasing the song, the charity said that they received 500 new first-time like donors to their facility, which is dope. So they're already getting the proceeds from the song itself, whether it's purchased on iTunes, etc., wherever. So proceeds from the song and also new donors to the cause itself. And Beyonce has worked with this Bread of Life like many times over the years. And I believe one of the, not owners, but I don't know what the word of it is. But one of the creators of Bread of Life, or people who keep it afloat, that is, went to the same church as Beyonce. So I guess she has a really close personal connection to this organization. So that's really dope. So the proceeds of this banging ass song is going to feed people who are struggling right now. And I think that is really, really dope. So shout out to Beyonce, shout out to Megan, shout out to everybody doing dope black ass things and caring about the world around you, because life is just so much bigger than we are. So shout out to Black on Black support.
Absolutely. Nah, that's very, very dope. Shout out to them both for that. I did not know about them donating the proceeds to Savage. I did hear about her other donation to COVID-19, but I didn't know about Savage. So that's very, very dope. Shout out to her. Beyonce is lit, you know, in multiple ways. Other than those bangs, she can do no wrong.
Okay, so a woman does one wrong thing in her 36 years of life, and it's got to be held against her forever?
I mean, I'm not saying held against her forever, but I just...
Okay,
again,
well, you know what? It's time for mental health check-in. I won't be listening to this anymore. I'll be turning my head to positive things.
I'm going to need you to start telling me how many... Black on Black supports you have, because I be coming up in here looking and sounding like a basic bitch with one, and you be having like,
well, you know, I only had Beyonce, even though I like to shout out, you know, small businesses, my friends, etc. I only had Beyonce at the time, so I was like, hey, let me open it up to my followers and the supporters of the living room and ask them who they want to hear being shout out on our podcast, which is really dope, because literally the people who nominated didn't even nominate themselves. They literally, like, people that had businesses at that, like, they're nominating their friends. And I'm like, wow, y'all are the shit. And that's what this is about. Like, it wouldn't have been a problem to nominate yourselves, because y'all are the shit. Everybody with your own business, you know, shout out to y'all. But the fact that y'all were like, hey, I want them to shout out my friend who's doing X, Y, and Z, or this person who I purchased from and their shit is lit. So we love y'all. We really do love our supporters, because people who listen to this podcast, everybody knows, are like better than everybody else.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, just give me a heads up in the future.
I got
That's
you,
all I'm
girl.
saying.
I got you. I have 29.
If you don't
I have
mind.
29 black people to support.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Alrighty, a mental health check-in. I have one, but do you want to go first or?
Sure.
You want me to
Mine
go
is
first?
pretty quick. It's just to tell you guys, for mental health, we're seeing like all these different organizations. We talked last week about Taraji P. Henson. We're talking this week about Beyonce. If you have a need for a mental health service, please don't think like, oh, I don't have insurance, I can't do X, Y, and Z. There are foundations popping up everywhere with support of just the public or support of celebrities and other foundations that are trying to give you the services that you need for free. There's places that say, hey, I'm offering mental health services. If you could donate. If you can't, that's fine. If you need services, click here, you know? So if you're having an issue, and it doesn't have to be just because of COVID or onset by COVID, just in general, if you're having issues, you need help, you need love, we want y'all to be here each and every day that, you know, God has planned for you. So if you need assistance, please look up the places. We've talked about a few of them. Again, Be Good has some services. And Taraji P. Henson, through her foundation, has services. So just look up the opportunities that we presented to you or that you can research on your own to get the tools that you need. Because everybody can't afford therapy, which is kind of sad, because it's like, well, if you don't teach me how to handle my issues and my trauma when I'm a child or at school or at church or anywhere else, where else am I going to get it unless I pay this person $75 an hour? So just look up the places that you have access to for free. That's my mental health check-in.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Mine is basically just to tell the people out there that you are cared for. I know things are very crazy right now. I know some people are, they feel trapped in their houses. I know some people are trapped in their houses in situations that they might not feel ideal in. But I just want people to know that they're cared for. You know what I'm saying? No matter where you are right now. And then also too, which is kind of like an affirmation, but I just keep thinking about that quote from Audre Lorde of saying, like, we are much more aware of what we don't have than what we do have. So, for those of us who are like me, now again, I'm not talking about people who really got serious things going on, but just to remember, like, I don't have to be out and about in public or working right now, putting myself in harm and or danger, like, being in contact with a whole bunch of people that might be having this virus, which means I don't have to be having high levels of anxiety because I'm in contact with all these people. I literally go to Walmart and I come home. That's it. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that I do not have this virus at the time. Like, even if you don't have nothing else to be thankful for, but just the fact that you don't have this virus, if it is bad as they say it is, and that's not me being like facetious, that's just, there's so much different data. And you got people out here talking about they protesting because they want to go out and get haircuts. So I just be like, it's either not that serious or it's very serious. So let's say, for argument's sake, that it is as serious as they are telling us it is. You don't have this virus. You know what I'm saying? You're not hooked up to a ventilator machine. So basically, just taking the time to be thankful for what we do have, and which is this part right here is kind of going to go into my affirmation, what I was literally going to say for my affirmation, but just being having some grace with yourself, you know what I'm saying, for those things that you do feel like you are without and you wish you had, or the place that you wish you were right now. Just having some grace. So say that to say, when it comes to having grace, again, like I talked about on the last podcast, so kind of reiterating what I had for my affirmation last week was that, if you don't feel like, being productive today, or you don't feel like being productive in this moment, whatever that moment might be, it's okay. Have some grace. Like, we are literally dealing with things that if you're anything like myself, have never been through before. I've never been in a place where I literally couldn't go out. If it didn't feel comfortable going outside, and or can't see my friends, and or am afraid to see my friends, and or I'm afraid to go to Walmart, trying to get in and out. So say it to say, some of us are really stuck in the house for the first time in our entire lives. You know what I'm saying? This is very different than anything we've ever experienced. So just being gracious with yourself and understanding that this is a learning process. It is going to take some growth, and you're going to be uncomfortable at times, but it's okay. We are all only human. So that is both my mental health check-in that went into my affirmation. So yeah.
Okay, my affirmation is just to love on yourself, love on people around you, call somebody you love. I think for the first time, maybe ever in life, I called my grandparents just to kind of check on them, and they have a house phone. So my grandma answered, my grandpa answered the other phone. So they were both on the phone with me for like an hour, and I just thought that was really dope. I'm like, when do you just get to sit down and talk to your grandparents for like a, you know, really long time? And we were talking about like our family tree. We were talking about where somebody grew up and how many siblings somebody had and how, and you know, what was my great grandma's name and this, that, and third. And I'm like, wow, like, when do I ever take the time to do this? Like, my grandparents are so precious, and I don't know how much time I have left with them on this, you know, earth, and I'm going to cherish them and love on them. So just as always, call somebody you love. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have for y'all.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Well, we thank y'all for joining us. We love y'all dearly. We hope and wish y'all the absolute best as we continue to be in different forms of isolation and quarantine. And as people and a society, we continue to try to work through this pandemic. We thank y'all for being loyal to us. Stop what you're doing and rate this podcast and comment if you are using Apple Podcasts specifically. Thank you for your time. We thank y'all for being here with us. We thank y'all for tuning in week to week or 2 weeks to 2 weeks or months to months, because, you know, we don't be getting this podcast out on time like we should sometimes. Mm-hmm. And thank you for being gracious with us when we do not get this podcast out on time.
Because who does that?
So, yeah. Right. But we are trying. We are getting better. So thank y'all again. We love y'all. We wish y'all the best. And, you know, of course, this has been Sid the Great. And now Aisha Damali is going to tell y'all where y'all can go, or maybe where you can't go. I'm not sure these days.
All right. Well, I am Aisha Damali. Thank you for being gracious with us. As Sydney has said, it is time to mosey on along. We're about to keep jamming to Tory Blake. Peace out. Get the fuck out the living room.
Your call on your time. It was never about my mind, just your wine. Convinced myself you was all mine. Even when I just saw you in hey, don't be calling my phone, yeah, yeah. When it's talking you alone, yeah, yeah. Lost in your thoughts, yeah, yeah.